Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay, I'm gonna have to turn down the sound a little bit, but other than those, let's see, where are we? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. What you up to?
Oh, no good.
Okay.
Nah. Uh, I
Okay. Um,
I put myself through. Oh,
Hello.
howdy.
Apologies if I come off as distracted. I got a new set of keycaps that I'm putting on.
Well, you
A
know,
never ending thing.
that's all right. There's too much stuff around the house to get distracted by. So, aha, howdy.
Hello.
Does my video look blurry to anybody?
It does.
Doesn't? All right. Maybe this last kernel update did something. I don't know. But
It just looks like it's a slightly lower resolution to me.
well, webcam test
okay.
says that I'm in QCIF mode or something at 174 by something. I'm like, no, this is an HD camera. It should be like at least 720.
You should be able to change it.
Yeah, I don't have the software installed for it, so
Um,
Zoom seems to have it at a better resolution than what webcam test did, but it still looks a little blurry to me, so
Art is more clear than you are.
Oh, really?
Let me rephrase that. The image of art is more clear than you are.
the in the video controls in Zoom, you can select a couple of different things.
let's see what it says. It says HD video, mirror my video. What else? What else we got? Adjust for low lighting. Oh, I can make myself look better.
Good luck with that. It's only software,
Just puts a black bar across my face. I don't know.
Oh, I don't really see any.
I didn't see any resolution settings there either.
No, there's an HD switch and one other that looked like it might.
It didn't really look like it changed anything. It pixeled me out for a couple seconds. Oh well. I know it's a Logitech camera, so I think there's software.
Yeah, that should be pretty well supported.
So, um, I won't worry about it right now. I'll see what's going on. Maybe go back to the old kernel and see if that fixes the problem. So, uh, so I put myself through the pain of dealing with the FCC website again.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought you were all squared away with that.
well, I was, but oh, it disappeared. It's official. I have a GMRS license now.
Nice.
Yeah. So
What does GMRS stand for?
General Mobile Radio Service. It's it's the you pay for it basically. Almost anybody can get it as long as you're not a felon or you know some foreign agent from a foreign country. Um, you pay $35 for 10 years for it, and you get a little bit better. So the most of those blister packs radios that you get from Walmart that are FRS radios
Yeah,
also do GMRS. And when you get the license, you can use the repeaters and more power. So that's basically what you're paying for is the privilege to use repeaters and more power.
Uh,
And
you
you're
you may have use for those things, but I don't know that ordinary citizens would have a use for those.
well, you know, I don't know if I actually have a use for it. It's just something that I had been considering for a while to do, and this year I renewed my ham license, I went ahead and got the GMRS license. I technic
How long did that take to work your way through the web
Oh,
page?
jeez. Well, again, the universal licensing system part of the website, it's fairly user friendly. It couple of weird wording things going on, but that part was easy. Paying them money, something that everybody wants, give me money, is a pain in the butt. It's just, um, I just assumed since I didn't get a confirmation the last time and I didn't get a confirmation this time, I assumed they got the money because apparently they got the money last time. So I I actually don't understand part of their website. Why would you have a website that takes payments but not give you any kind of confirmation that the payment actually went through or was at least pending? I mean, but
We used to use pay.gov for VA payments, but I agree with you. It was screwed up. So we've just made those directly through our uh, Chase account.
yeah, well, There's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 websites that say they will handle setting up everything you need to do, but instead of $35, it costs like $75 or something. And it's like,
Yeah,
uh,
you pay somebody to take the grief.
yeah, basically, and you still have to sign a form that says you're giving them permission to act on your behalf or whatever. It's not really like you're saving yourself any kind of real work. But
Is it a form that's easier to find though?
yeah, kinda. Most of the websites that'll do it have that form right there, so you all you need to do is fill it out and submit your $75. And 3 or 4 days later, you get a confirmation that, hey, yep, you actually have a license. So,
Yeah, I remember when I was trying to renew mine, I was almost daily getting these things saying, "Oh, we can take care of you. We can take." But the deal was you paid an extra $50 or whatever it was, and I didn't go for that.
well, I'm sitting there going, it's they're already charging $35 for something that, 10 years ago I got for free.
Actually, up through 22, I understand you could get it for free.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
just,
just when your license came due.
yeah. I, I still kind of hope that somebody will review that process and go, this really sucks.
Let's make it standard across many items.
Well,
Well, I kind of cores the payment side of the FCC is called cores, and I don't really think it was ever set up for civilians or individuals. I think it was set up because one of the big things that it says is if you owe more than $24,999, you've got to find an alternative method to pay us. I was like, yeah,
oh,
I don't really think it's set up to deal with individuals paying 35 or $50 or whatever. They want to deal with like large sums of cash from big broadcasters.
yeah.
So,
Well, about a decade ago, Julie's father passed away, and she had power of attorney for financial stuff. And about 6 months ago, we got a notification that said, you have to deal with this account or it will be turned over to the state. So we started looking into it, and she thought she had taken care of it. But we decided the easiest way to find out would be to go on the state website and look for funds. So we got on the website and put in our last name and our address. Well, it popped up that she didn't have any funds there, but I had money there. It's like, what the hell? How come I have money there? And it was, they didn't give you an exact amount, but they said it's below $25. So I went ahead and pursued getting whatever money was there just for the principle of things. And it turned out it was some way or another PayPal uh, funds that ended up in the state coffers. So I don't know whether any of you have had to go through this process, but they want you to do your driver's license front and back, a utility bill, oh, like two things beyond that. And they give you a form to submit them. They want 5 items, and they give you a form that will only handle 4.
Yep, that sounds like the government.
Yeah. So I stacked everything on the scanner, on the flatbed scanner, and sent it in, all the items together. And they sent me a note back, says, no, you have to send them in separately. Eventually,
In duplicate, triplicate, and yeah.
It wasn't worth the $5 that I got from them, but it was worth the satisfaction of saying, it's my money, I'm getting it.
I got one better. It wasn't a government thing though. It was a while ago, an AT&T thing. I closed my AT&T account. I had paid like months and months and months ahead because the way I used to take care of bills is I would set bills that were due on one side of the table and bills that weren't due on the other side of the table and bills that were paid on the far side of the table. Well, apparently I had saw the bill that was due. I paid it, but I left it sit on the unpaid pile and I paid it like 5 or 6 times. I mean, I was way ahead on my monthly fee with them, but I came across a better deal and I called and canceled and they said, "Okay, no problem. Uh I see you've got a credit here." Okay, I might have still have a credit. Well, we got to send that back to you. Well, how much is the credit? It's a penny. 1 penny. It cost them 45 cents to send it in the mail. It probably cost them something for the check that they zoxed it off on. Cost somebody some money to pipe in the fact that I had a
A
penny
penny.
coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys could just keep that penny. I don't need it.
No, 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 no.
No. If we can't
AT&T may never keep it.
we can't keep it. We can't keep it. Our books would be out of balance. We can't have that. Okay.
And if that penny was a Bitcoin 15 years ago,
Yep.
I could not wait to get rid of AT&T. Every month there was a mistake in the billing or an error of some sort. I'd call in 45 minutes on the telephone. Oh yeah, we'll do it the next 3 billing cycles.
Well, I have AT&T for my internet provider right now, and I have been very happy with them. Other than one time, and I don't think it was AT&T that did. I think it was the state. It seemed like um, the taxes for it increased dramatically, like $5 or $6. And then the next month they came right back down to what they should be. So, and once again, like typical with AT&T, I have a credit sitting in my account. So I've got a little bit of a buffer there. So if I do underpay, there's some money sitting there for them. So, but at least on their internet, on what I've got, they have not been a horrible company, and the service has been fairly good. I haven't even needed to ever call and talk to anybody, so that's always a
You're lucky.
bonus.
Yeah. My sister says she knows my brother-in-law is on the phone with AT&T before she gets the front door open, she can hear him screaming over the telephone.
That's about accurate. When I worked for Miami Systems a century ago, all of our offices had dial-up AT&T.
Ah,
Steve froze.
Yep.
Yep. He froze bad.
oh,
He's back.
Sorry about that. I have no idea why it does that.
AT&T heard their name used in vain.
They did.
Too many times. We've said AT&T too many times.
So we had 15 offices scattered all over the eastern half of the country. Each one had a Linux box in it with a single modem and an Ethernet adapter, and it would auto dial if anything on the network needed to get to the internet. And we had corporate AT&T for those dial-up accounts, and it was just awful. They kept trying to get me to install their WinSock crap. I was like, no, we don't run WinSock.
Well, my mom, at the same time that I had AT&T, she had AT&T. She quite literally lived a half a block away from a tower and could not get cell service. Absolutely could not get cell service from them.
Might be because she was too close. It was overpowering the radio.
Well, that's what I said. But she
Wrap it
would
in tinfoil.
she would go, down the road or whatever, a couple miles away where you would think you should be able to get good service, and she couldn't get service. And apparently, she wasn't the only one in that area. Apparently, AT&T put a tower there and just kind of forgot about it, I guess.
Forgot to turn it on.
Here's a tower. We're never going to use it. No. I have been way happier with AT&T than I have ever been with Spectrum or Time Warner. I For years, the Time Warner is who I had, and I hated that company. Just hated them with a passion. So
I'm
I
not ever any happier with them now that they're Spectrum.
no, no, when they changed the Spectrum, a couple of minor things improved, but I hated dealing with them. I hated they would basically a couple of times they cut off the service without telling me. And then you call them up and try to find out why the service wasn't working. And they would go, "We show it's working." Well, it ain't. And there was only one time that I had where uh, they actually seemed like they were halfway decent. It was when I lived out past Hamilton. Um, the AT&T box or the Time Warner box was on a little pole, and that little pole had fallen over and was laying on the ground. And the cable had kind of stretched itself to the point that it was intermittently making contact, and they pretty much came right out and fixed that. They had that fixed within a couple of hours of me calling and complaining. So that was the only time that I actually had decent customer service from them.
My brother-in-law worked for the Department of Agriculture and ran a from the computer center there in Kansas City ran a terminal into every county in the United States. So he was familiar with how the system should work. And he had dial-up with AT&T. And he kept telling them he was only getting like a tenth of the speed that he should have. And he called them and he finally gets a hold of the technicians in the center and he goes over and over and over. He calls them every month telling them something is wrong with your systems. And they're saying, well, how would you know? Well, I would know because I did this for 25 years. Turns out that they had a series of modems that would roll over if you dial in, let's just say 7,500, then 7,501, 02, 03. And the last one, the modem was set to a different speed. And because of the time that he would dial in, he would always end up with the modem that had the wrong settings on it. So after 6 months of doing this, they finally called him up and said, oh, yeah, you were right. We found the problem.
Seems about right.
Well, I've had alt fiber now for about a year. Alta fiber, whatever the spelling is. And I'm pretty happy with it. So
Who is that through, Art?
moves it through.
Yeah.
Alta is Alta. It's used to be part of Cincinnati Bell, but Cincinnati Bell no longer has an internet service provider.
But I've got 2.5 gigs speed. And since it's faster than any equipment that I have, I'm not taking full advantage of it, to say the least. But so far, so good.
My only real complaint with AT&T right now is how they rotate the IP addresses. And they rotate the IP addresses a lot. But I guess that's because I'm on a 5G connection, so
Yeah, you disconnect a lot.
yeah.
I've got records for my Cincinnati Bell / Alta fiber connection going back to 2017. And in all that time, my IP address has changed like 12 times, maybe 20. Not much.
I'm getting almost 500 down right now, though, which is impressive considering it's Thursday at 5 o'clock. But it currently says that my IP address is somewhere in Pennsylvania, though. So I'm traveling, apparently. I just look like I'm here. I'm like Ray. He looks like he's here. He's just out there traveling.
Looks to me like he's in a vehicle of some sort.
He's not driving again. He's found somebody to drive.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I take a helper with me. Take another technician.
So what's new, Mr. Ray? Oh, Ray's phone.
Oh, there. Are we back? Okay, so what's new? I'm playing with my new iPhone 16, so that's why I'm getting. Uh, I'm losing video and all kinds of stupid stuff. Um, I can't see you guys at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're
I
here.
was able to a minute ago.
Yeah, maybe it's a
Huh.
connection thing.
That's my experience with iPhones.
Yep.
Oh, there we are. Let's see. All the participants. Um, let's see.
Except Barry.
Yeah, Barry, we can never see Barry. Barry's
Barry's in stealth mode.
he's always
Yeah.
incognito.
Well, I
So
don't
what time zone are you in?
I think I disconnected you guys where I don't see your. I don't know. Anyway, playing with the iPhone, trying. I just got a purchased last night, got everything transferred over, and then it never got actually registered into the Verizon system, so they had to go ahead and turn on my electronic SIM and yeah, all that fun stuff. So I don't know what's going on. Um, it definitely feels weird for me to talk into a blank screen, so can't see anybody there. Um,
Um,
there you are, and you're gone again. Oh, I got people. Uh, so uh, I got to go to. We're donating another laser machine tomorrow. That's going to Madison High School, and then there's a ham radio convention in Elkhart, Indiana. Elkhart, Indiana, on Saturday, and
oh,
then off to Florida on Sunday. I'll be in Florida for 5 days. It's a 2 or 3 customers a day kind of thing. I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna have to drag this one into maybe 7 or 8 days in Florida. So
what's
yeah.
what's the Hamfest called in Elcars?
Elkhart, I don't know what it is. All I know is that their logo is impossible for me to convert to a laser fun laser engravable logo.
I got about every other syllable of that.
Yeah, he's somewhere that
What I was
he's
saying
dropping in and out.
makes I'm on 5G, 2 bars of 5G.
The computer screen says Ray's iPhone network bandwidth is low.
Sorry, I'll just be an observer then.
You're out there somewhere,
I can be a lurker.
a lurker.
I'll be like Barry. I'm just behind everybody.
I uh I got my GMRS license. Got it this afternoon. So if you see any GMRS radios that are like cheap, let me know, Ray.
Okay.
I don't know. That's probably the one he's talking about.
Yes. Might be this weekend. It's not supposed to be very large, really. I think they're only expecting like maybe 30 vendors and like 400 guests. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't really have much listed, do they?
No, that's why they're really hoping that we would go. I mean, when you're that small, every vendor counts.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there'll be some people out there in the flea market area.
I keep telling my dad that we should have our own little ham fest, ham convention.
Well,
I'll have an Arduino parts vendor booth. I'll have a rabbit laser booth, and then I can have a commercial scrap materials booth and a couple towers for sale booth.
just just open up the back of your shop, Ray, for a few hours and put prices on stuff.
Well, dude, then I would feel like it was Parts Express in Springboro.
That's true.
It used to be a big deal and pretty nice, but and then it dropped down to like what 15 tables and they're just cleaning up their extra stuff.
I haven't been to uh one of their sales in a while actually. Um
Yeah,
I
I
I
try to go to
used
that every year.
the one that I used to like going to was the one that MCM had. They usually had a lot of stuff. Just leftover stuff from their warehouse. But
MCM is gone,
MC,
Dalco is gone,
yeah.
and
Dow
Mendelssohn's is gone.
Dalco had Parts Express bought all of Dalco's stuff and was selling it for a while. And I don't know if they still are or not, but
Nah,
they had all the um custom cables and all that. They had the machine that was making it. And I don't know if you can still get custom cables from them or not.
I don't know.
But Parts Express really, I mean, they do have other stuff, but they really are an audio place. And
Yes,
that's just not the kind of stuff I'm into.
I completely agree with you on all that.
Yeah. But Dalco moved from that place that was right across the street from MCM to a place right across the street from Parts Express. And then they were there for maybe 4 months, maybe 5 months. And Parts Express seemed like they took them over and nobody knew where they moved to. I think that was a big problem when they moved. They moved into a very small spot. And then they were just gone.
Was it Dalco or was it MCM? I think it's MCM that got bought up by, was it Aero Electronics or something?
Yeah, they got bought up by like Newark and somebody
Newark.
else.
That's who it
Yeah.
was. They got bought by Newark. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a sad day. But
I
but
was kind of sad to see that all the Tenma equipment was going to go phased out.
yeah.
here's something for you guys to write down. We were at the Dayton Amateur Radio Convention, the Dayton Hamvention, and there was a booth there for the UTI. It's for the Utilitech multimeters and spectrum analyzers and everything. And I stopped by and I was like, I enjoy using multimeters and oscilloscopes and stuff like that. And I have a lot of different variety. I mean, like in total, I probably have 400 multimeters. And like, I bought a few multimeters, and what I buy are USB based, communications, serial port communications. I was like, I bought this UTI. It's the 61C or something like a 63C. And they're like, oh, yeah, that one's got a firmware bug. The communications don't work. Yeah. Yeah, I figured that out. After trying to debug the protocol, figure out all the stuff that's going on, I finally realized this thing is just squirrely. It doesn't work right.
And did
And
they
didn't
offer
bother.
you anything?
Well, they didn't bother to tell anybody. And they didn't bother to like, hey, we'll get you another one. And if you buy the one that does not have communication, it's like $35, $40. You buy the one with USB communication, it's $65. And that's the only difference in them. And I would, I like doing the communication stuff, USB or serial. And it's just absolutely irritating that, it had a firmware bug and you couldn't find out any of that information or why, or they wouldn't even acknowledge it. But the rep that was there at Hamvention was like, oh, yeah, that's the reason you're having problems because it's got a firmware bug.
So did they offer an updated firmware?
You can't do it. According to them, you cannot upgrade your own firmware. I mean, I think that somebody could, and I think eventually, maybe Leroy can figure out how to do it. He can fix anything, right? But so they weren't going to try to offer me firmware, but the guy did give me his business card and told me to give him a call, after the Hamvention was over, and he'd try to see what he could do for me. But I told him, I was like, I'm not some kind of social media influencer. I'm not that, all that other crap. I'm just a guy that likes to evaluate multimeters, and I'm not even out there giving anybody else my opinion. But I think I will start doing that. Little write up of what this multimeter sucks. This one sucks, and this one's the best.
Your $7 multimeter from Harbor Freight is absolutely horrible,
It's
but
horrible.
but it's $7.
And it's $7. My favorite one
And
is
they
called
used
a
to give them away
VG97. My favorite multimeter is a VG97, VICCI 97, and it's like $32 off of eBay, and it does everything. It is actually really, really nice. VICCI 97. I think the only thing it doesn't do, and this is really weird, there's no backlight. But aside from that, it doesn't do non-contact voltage detection, but that's rare that I need that. It does capacitance, frequency, microamps, milliamps, I think 10 amps, full amps, AC, DC, transistor testing. But for $32, the other thing I could ask for is USB communications or serial communications. Yep, that's it. I mean, I think I have at least 2 of those, maybe 3, and it has been the most reliable well built. So anybody's looking for a decent multimeter, that's it right there.
That's one. That's one to
Almost
get.
looks like a fluke.
It almost does, yeah. A cross between a Fluke and a Tenma. But yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, a fluke."
Well, the color makes me think about Tenma, and
Yeah,
the shape, the large lettering area makes me think Fluke. But no, all in all, this one's my favorite. I mean, it's not a clamp meter. It was never designed for that. But for a meter that is accurate and good number of significant digits and all that fun stuff. I've been really happy with this one over the years. And I've got, Metex and Kleins and Flukes and a whole bunch of them. So,
I back when I was on the sub, we had Fluke 77s. I loved that multimeter. That was probably my favorite multimeter. I know it's old now, but that was the multimeter that I grew up with pretty much.
We had a
Other than
77 and a 71.
And they're only $450 if you still want one. Directly from Fluke.
Damn.
holy crap!
I don't want one that bad.
It's like the snap-on of meters.
yeah. Well, their primary customer was apparently the U.S. Navy.
I have to admit, I own the Fluke 77. I think there's a Fluke 177, another Fluke, and another like a itty bitty Fluke meter, and I have a Fluke oscilloscope. And I got another one Fluke, and I have some networking tools made by Fluke. Um,
Fluke makes some decent stuff, but I am not that actually upsets me. If I had known that they were that much, I would have bought a couple of them when I saw them at a garage sale for $5.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
absolutely, yes,
that upsets me.
absolutely, yeah. They're not that I'm saying absolutely get upset, but if you find a Fluke at a garage sale, it's probably worth the money for the garage sale dollars, especially if the ex-wife is selling it.
Well,
Whether it works or not.
Oh Lord.
here's me. I don't need another meter. Why do I need another meter?
I just had this strange thing where the meter disappears from the submarine, and the explanation to the officer is, "Sir, I dropped it overboard."
It went over the side. We
But you
accidentally put it in the garbage compactor. It's at the bottom of the sea now.
Hey, you guys think I was joking about the ex-wife, but I did. I bought a Fluke. I bought a CNC router and several other things. The ex-wife was like, "Hey, I'm sitting in my garage for 6 months after they got the divorce." She's like, "Ray, if you clean my laser and give me blah blah amount of money, you can have this stuff." Okay. I will clean your laser. I will buy this stuff from you, no problem.
Now, what's interesting about that was she even got you to clean the laser, which you normally would have charged for.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you gave up money, Ray.
Well, I bought the contractor's DeWalt contractor saw. It's like a carry around version table saw for like $50. I bought the Fluke for like $20. And all the Fluke branded test leads for included, and several other things. I bought a used laser machine from her that she's like, oh, it's damaged. I don't know how to fix it, and Ray, buy this from me, please, because nobody else is gonna know how to fix it either. It was a blown fuse.
Oh,
Yeah, easiest thing I've ever. Yeah, a blown fuse. I think the laser power supply itself had an issue, and it was like 110-volt laser power supply put in a 220-volt machine, and she blew this odd fuse, and you would look at the fuse and not even recognize this is a fuse.
yeah.
So that was the funny part about it.
I've seen a few fuses that are like that. Weird.
This fuse was like as big as your thumb,
Yeah.
and it was in an odd shaped holder
Yeah.
that was kind of shoved in aside, and I thought, well, is this a fuse? What is this thing? Popped it open. I was like, I'll be darned. I thought about you for that, Leroy. I didn't say the rude word. We're being recorded, Ray.
I there was some piece of machinery that I was monkeying around with, and the fuse looked like a coin cell battery.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, one of the weirdest. It was definitely a fuse. You could take it out, and it had like a little filament kind of deal in it, but it looked like a coin cell battery.
I mean, everything's a fuse at a high enough power.
Well,
That's true.
Well, at too high of power, though, you'll let the smoke out.
That's just fuse with enunciation.
Yeah. Hey, look at me.
In the telephone world, that's an indicating fuse.
I was at work and I was looking at one of our electric construction people who was complaining about the contractors not tightening all of the lugs in the disconnects. And he had an extension and a ratchet, and he's going through and opening the box and tightening them down and complaining. And I was about 10 feet away, and I could see his eyes. They went from this level to up, and I knew immediately what was going to happen.
He touched a live lug.
Exactly. And the extension hit the edge of the box. The only thing that kept him from being blinded was his hands were up here in front of his face.
Uh,
I knew exactly what was going to happen, and there was nothing I could do about it.
the only thing I can say, and I don't feel good about this, is I've done that before. Oh, Lord. I was on 483 phase on a 50 amp breaker, and for going straight into a motor for a conveyor. I mean, and everybody was like, Ray, you're not really going to touch that, are you? And it was too late. I had already touched it. Oh, my Lord. Yeah. Those were the glory days of my first 2 years of being an engineer. Oh, I learned so much. Things I don't need to touch. Uh, Well, Leroy, do we have any new products to display this week?
Not really.
New information?
Not really.
I especially like the cheese.
It's the 16 amp cheese wedge. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
The 2000 amp slow blow is pretty good.
Where is that manufactured?
So I think who put that in chat? Somebody put that in chat. So.
Very.
Barry. That says Chromagnia or something.
Chromevandium.
Chromagnia. And it is an 11 millimeter. That's probably the important part. That's probably what makes it a 2000 amp, the 11 millimeter part.
In the Army,
I've seen plenty of aluminum foil.
Yeah.
in the Army, the deuce and a half truck has a big cube of a 24-volt battery. It's about, I don't know, 19, maybe 20 inches on a side and 17 inches tall. I have seen those take out a few wrenches. People just do not disconnect ground first too frequently.
Well, when we when me and Mike put lights in the Crown Vic, Mike found a wrench or a socket. It was a socket, wasn't it? It was
A ratchet
a
and
ratchet.
and a socket, and I think there was even an extension behind the tail light and outside the fender. It had been bolted in behind the light.
And it was the wrong size for anything on that car. It wasn't the right size for anything. So how did it get there?
I was amazed that it didn't just rattle the hell out of stuff that you had to find out why it was rattling around.
Oh, trust me. That car makes enough noise. One little rattle isn't going really. Actually, believe it or not, I started noticing a rattle after you took it out. Maybe that thing was holding something in there so it wasn't rattling.
It had been there a good while from the amount of corrosion that was on it. I'm thinking it was several years.
Well, it would have to be because I mean, I've had it. I got it in 2020. So we did that 2025, so I've had it for 5 years and it's set for 5 years. So it's had to have been in there for a long time.
Um, Now, as I recall, it was a 1/4 inch drive Craftsman ratchet. So it wasn't a cheap tool that you would not look for. If you were doing the work and you said, "Oh, what happened to my ratchet?" That's something I would look for.
Yeah, it was a Craftsman, and I sat there and looked at it, and we tried it on a couple of bolts, and it was the wrong size, and it was froze up. You might be able to unfreeze it with some lubricating oil or something, penetrating oil, but it was it was an interesting thing to find in the car.
I certainly wasn't expecting it.
Uh, but to answer your question, Mr. Ray, there really hasn't been anything new. I haven't really bought any new microcontrollers or anything because I'm kind of still settling in from what's going on with tariffs and all that. And I'm kind of waiting for Mauser to get some of the stock from China in.
That's our field. Less than a quarter of it. All right. Wow, right. So, do we have any challenges going on?
I want a challenge because I've been pretty stagnant. So, challenge.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Um,
Help me build my makerspace over at the journal building.
that would be a challenge.
Are you actively doing that? Or just
I am actively working on that building as often as I can. I have contractors that are working over there. Whenever I can bully them into going to do that. We have to still add electric, repair the plumbing. Got some roofing work to do. Yeah, it's the same old as far as like what's my work list. But it is progressing. It's growing.
well, that sounds more like it's the support location as opposed to the contents of the makerspace itself.
Yeah, well, yeah. I got a lot of stuff to make and build and repair before I can actually put a company or even a nonprofit or anything in there. It's just got to grow. It's got to not grow. It's got to the structure got to be built to support. Yeah. So I got flooring to do, a couple thousand square feet of tile, um, couple 15,000 square feet of tile needs to go in. Yeah, roofing that work that needs to be done. Yeah. So lots of work to
You get
do.
a good deal on those 9-inch by 9-inch floor tiles.
Yeah, the ones from 1960.
Yeah, the one
That's full of asbestos. Yeah, sure.
Just don't tell anybody. You'll be fine.
I knocked plenty of those out. Scraped all the floors, got all that stuff out of there. Tore out lots of offices, lots of walls. Man, the building is just ready to put stuff in. The only thing that's really slowing me down is that roof. I got my roofer is on sabbatical or something. I don't know.
I will. I potentially I will be around to help when you're ready to actually do something, Mr. Ray. But I don't know. I don't know what I could do now.
Well, we have a room that um it's actually a really good sized room that's probably going to be the electronics and stuff type room. Um, I need to finish the lights in that room. I don't think I'm ever going to tile the floor because it's more of a industrial type room. We need to move some shelves down there, which I do have the shelves. The shelves need to be built. I need to move a lot of electronics down there. Um, yeah, there's a lot of work to do. And typically that room stays absolutely dry. Only time it gets any water in it is if I got a lot of water happening. But not lately. I think I'm getting spotty again. Yep.
I hear you. My mom just texted me. I had to answer her.
Oh, I thought I saw you leaning down like you had froze.
I died.
Well, hey, a good challenge would probably liven up our conversations for next week and the following weeks. So
I
that'd be amazing.
I actually have been trying to do something robot wise or something, but I
A
just
3D printing challenge.
well, I could do that too. I I've been trying to do something this past week, but just every time I would do something, something else would get going, get in the way.
Vicente, I haven't seen you in here yet.
Hi.
You got anything new going on, Mr. Vicente?
Same thing. I'm working in the yard with a lot of heat. I'm exhausted. I came in when you were talking about the multimeters. Mine is a $20 multimeter. But I love the precision of this one. Very precise, cheap. But what I really appreciate from a multimeter is the continuity check, you know. I need to I need a very fast response of the continuity because usually I check from one point to an IC with a lot of legs, you know, and I want to move my point across all the legs and detect the continuity fast. So many multimeters, you need to stay steady to test continuity, but this one is very fast. You don't need to do that. You just move across the circuit, the other point fast, and you always find the point you are looking for. So I have flux also. I have many multimeters, but at the end I use this one. Actually, I bought another one from AliExpress last week. Will be here in a couple of days because I want to have this one in my desk and I want the same one in the basement because in the basement I am using another one, a bigger one, but it's slow checking continuity. I don't like that. I really like the very fast continuity check. You know, you just touch in a fraction of a second and it beeps. I like that multimeter.
Who made that one?
Hmm?
Who made that?
It's I don't know. So. ANENG. I can share the link. Let me check with AliExpress.
Okay.
When's the next time we're supposed to get together?
Next week.
Next week.
I'll be in Florida. Coming next.
The following week.
The next 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I could throw a challenge out there. Everybody bring a variety of multimeters just to show each other of what you use and what you like about them.
Mhm.
We could do that.
Because I mean, I got my favorites, and I got the expensive ones that I don't like to use, and I got the communicating ones that I don't take out of the box very often. And I got ones with Bluetooth and USB and serial, and I
Yeah.
got some bench meters. So
Does anyone have a meter with a mirror built in to avoid parallax?
Oh, you're going back a couple of centuries for that.
I've got
what?
one of those.
I've got a few of those. I've got dedicated panel meters with mirrors.
I got some old meters, but I don't have anything with mirrors in it. I don't think so.
The old Weston analogs had them.
It's crazy.
The mirror let you see if you were lined up with the needle so that you can more accurately get the number that it was on.
Yeah, that to avoid parallax of looking at it at an angle.
Is that like looking at the gas gauge in your vehicle and lying to yourself that you're not really on E?
No, that's a mindset. So
There you
yeah,
go.
there you go.
I have several of those.
I don't think I have the Simpson anymore. I think I had a Simpson once that might have had a mirror in it.
Yeah.
You know, I never even realized they had mirrors in them. Or
Yeah.
why.
I
I
don't.
will
To
have to
align
look at my meters.
the needle, need to be aligned with the reflection to be
Yeah.
sure
Pretend that
that you
this is
are pointing to the right scale position.
pretend that this is the number. If you're viewing it from the side, you may misread it. If you're
You
looking at
need to align.
they must
Yeah.
the viewing it from a side and being offset. The word for that is parallax.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can use parallax to measure distances in physics, but it's a pain in the butt if you're trying to measure something and you don't know whether you're looking directly or whether you're looking offset. The mirror is to avoid that problem.
Yep.
I don't think I ever. I I don't think I ever knew that. That's very interesting. Learned something new. Now it kind of makes me wish I
Well,
had
it's
that
something
Simpson.
old. It's not new, it's old.
Well, no, it's new to me though.
Okay.
If you use one eye versus the other eye, you will
Yeah.
get a different view.
You can close one eye.
Yes.
I always wondered the old Simpson meter that I had used to be my dad's. And I think he used it out there at the mill. But he would always tell me I was off, that I wasn't reading it correctly. And I don't think he ever explained why he knew that or how he knew that, but maybe that's what he was doing.
I learned something today.
Yeah, so did I. That's interesting.
Ray learned that I'm an old fart and have old equipment.
And usually you need to adjust the zero position with a screw,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, because it's a mechanical thing, you know.
Yeah. Now I knew that about that meter, that there was a little adjust screw for it, but I'm not sure that I realized that that was a mirror.
The thing about that old meter is that it's beautiful to watch it. It just kind of floats up to where it's supposed to read. And the movement itself is kind of beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it reads accurately or whether it's good for its intended purpose, but it's
The next stop sign. Turn left.
All right. So are we gonna come to a conclusion that 2 weeks from now we're gonna all get together at the library, and I would love to see everybody with as many multimeters as you can get.
You'll be disappointed with me, Ray. I have 2 Harbor Freight multimeters.
Multimeter day.
I'm already disappointed. You're killing me.
I'm sorry.
And
There's so many levels to that. It's just hard.
Turn right onto Stanton Court.
You-
Then take
And
the
and you know what I
onto
use them
Hudson Court.
for? I don't use them to actually do electronics. I use them to check batteries. Yep, that's
bookends
good.
and
Yep, that's
paperweights.
good.
They're good
All right.
enough for working on a car.
Yeah.
At the stop.
Well,
12 volts, close enough.
God willing that I'm able to come, I will bring plenty of multimeters and I'll bring some extras to give away. That way you'll have a decent multimeter.
Uh,
Left onto Fitzgerald Way.
I've got a few of the Harbor Freight ones I could give away.
I'm not talking about Harbor Freight ones. I'm talking about like, I've got Kleins
On your right.
that originally they're like $180. I've got some UTI, Utilitech, some
with bad
others.
firmware.
Well, no, not that one. That I only have like one of those, which I built that way. Anyway,
It's built that way.
all right, guys, I gotta go.
All right, Ray. We'll plan on multimeter day in a couple weeks.
All right, and then Leroy, come up with another challenge.
I'll think of something. I'll try. All right. Bye, Ray.
Hold on.
Take care, Ray.
Talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. We do need something. I don't think any of us have actually worked on a project. Well, other than Vicente, who's always working on projects. I don't think any of us have actually worked on a project in a while.
Not related to this meeting.
Exactly. Plenty of projects.
Yeah.
Oh, I know because sometimes I'm brain dead. I forgot about this, Steve, that when we were talking a couple weeks ago about keyboards
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah.
and Commodore, I forgot 8-Bit Do actually did make a retro Commodore keyboard.
You should get one of those.
It's only $100.
I wonder why that one is so expensive. Huh.
Why?
I think they have one of those in stock at Micro Center right now.
Do you? Oh, gotta check that out. Yeah. I don't see the Commodore one. Yeah, I don't know why that one is about $10 more than the other ones. No, $20 more in the other ones.
There's a green one for Xbox that's marked down quite a bit on Woot right now, I think.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my car before I make any big purchase. And I just found out that the grandkid uh I didn't just find this out. Her birthday is Sunday, but I just found out that everybody's going to the Newport Aquarium and it's pay your own way to get in. And the Newport Aquarium is not a cheap place to go to.
No, it's not.
So
After visiting the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California, it kind of spoils you for the local muddy waters of the one in Cincinnati.
yeah. Well, I kind of uh, we were looking and I was kind of like, I bet Edwin doesn't realize how expensive this place is. But I guess they're expensive because of all the animals they gotta take care of. But the zoo is relatively inexpensive. So I don't know. Of
Well,
course,
Maybe
the
the zoo
Cincinnati Zoo gets money from
is
Cincinnati.
is
The
public
aquarium probably doesn't.
yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Well, given that it's on the other side of the river, I would think not.
I was about ready to clarify too that our oldest kid, she's got a zoo pass, which gets everybody, well, not everybody, but it gets so many people a discount on the tickets. So relatively cheaper is only because of the pass, I think. Yeah. Somebody's got one of those Commodore keyboards for $105 on eBay with $10 to have it shipped, so it's more expensive than buying it from Amazon. I'm pretty sure that that qualifies for free shipping. Yeah, free shipping. Um, does anybody want to throw out something that we could work on, some project that I could work on maybe this week? I'm something that somebody wants to do that can't figure out how to do it or something.
Something.
Do what?
I did a thing on something.
Yeah, I don't know. Um,
Just coming up with a list of projects is a project.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We could thank Ray. Thanks, Ray. So I I still if I could ever get back to it, I still want to make an updated version of that robot that I made a long time ago that uh
The big one,
the big
the
one.
chassis.
Yeah. And the one that did the RFID in the floor and you could send it to any physician on the floor.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'd love to do that again.
yeah.
Um, just getting back to that stuff. And I heard today about my car. It should be ready Monday or Tuesday. So that's a good thing.
Is it gonna run though is the question.
Well, I would hope after I don't know if he's gone out and started it or not, but I'm sure he's got a battery jump pack. So
So this is now with a new rear axle.
yep. And I really sincerely hope that this is the last major thing I have to do to this car because I'm pretty sick of it right now. And Patty's pretty sick of it. And we were very, very, very close to just saying the heck with it and buying another car.
Yeah, chucking it in.
Well, I the mechanic guy kind of agreed with me. I told him, you know, anything that I would be able to afford would be an older car and would probably end up having some issue somewhere and probably within the first month or so that I had it. So we would be right back to fixing something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're buying somebody else's problems.
Yeah.
yeah, usually.
So
My nephew is an auto body mechanic in Kansas City, and probably 15 years ago, he bought a Ford Windstar from an insurance company because it had been in a front end collision. I think he paid $150 for the Windstar, knowing that he could do the work and make it look like new. And he was successful doing that. And he and his wife drove it for about 5 years. Then they were rear ended in the back of the van. And again, he bought it from the insurance company for $103. Contacted me and said, "Are you interested in getting this? I'll put 4 new tires on it, repair all of the damage, and you can have it for $600." And I figured, well, I could use that. So we drove it for probably, I don't know, 10 years, quite some time. until everything started going wrong. Julie calls me from the pharmacy and says, I can't turn the van off. And I said, what do you mean? I said, just turn the key and pull the key out. She said, I'm in the pharmacy. I'm talking to you on the telephone. I have the keys in my hand. The van is locked up in the parking lot running. So I drive down there, and sure enough, the van is locked. There's no keys in the ignition. So I give her the vehicle I drove down. Got to put a key in the ignition so the wheel doesn't lock while I'm driving it home. And now I'm trying to figure out, how am I going to get this van to stop running? I will pull the fuse for the fuel pump. So I've got the door open and I'm trying to find the fuse for the fuel pump. And my priorities change. I don't care about that damn fuel pump. Well, I got to get this buzzer and kill it. Because it's just very irritating. So I finally get it to stop, and I start looking at the tilt wheel mechanism and the ignition. And it appears to me that the ignition is on a rack and pinion, and it engages regardless of where the wheel position is. And I think that I take a screwdriver or a chisel and whack that with a ball peen, I can get it to jump the tooth and go back into an operational position. But I couldn't quite see the mechanism. So I decided I'll go up and look at the mechanism on the internet. So I pull it up, and the first thing it says is, don't whack that with a chisel and a ball peen. It'll set off the airbag. You'll be wearing the chisel in the middle of your forehead.
Don't do that.
I decided what I will do is I'll take all of the bottom of the dash loose and the armor plating and all that stuff, and I'll just bring down the little control box, and it's about the size of a large wallet, and it has 4 positions: off, accessory, run, and start.
What happened to the sound?
And so we just leave it that hanging there. The van is
No sound?
I can hear him.
lifetime. If somebody can get in the van, they don't have to have an ignition key, because there's a key. There's a key in the ignition already to keep the wheel from locking. All they have to do is move the switch on this big box that's hanging down. Well, eventually more things went wrong with it, more things and more things and more things. So we are trading it in for another vehicle. I only gave $600 for it to begin with. And because we were buying a Ford and trading in a Ford, the dealership had a deal going forward, had a dealership offer $1,500, trade in a Ford and buy a Ford. So it's like, we're home free there, plus the value of the trade-in. So Julie and I are in the little office there. We're filling out the paperwork, and the salesman runs in, and he says, how do you start that van anyway? And Julie turns to him and with the straightest face says, oh, you have to hot wire it. And these 2 guys give her a look like, oh my God, what are we blind? So I don't know what happened to Van last time I saw it. It was sitting on the lot with 4 ball tires, an exhaust system that didn't work, motor mounts that were shot, and the whole thing was a piece of trash. But we got $2,100 out of it.
Mm.
You won.
Can you hear me, Art? I don't think Art can hear anybody. Art said about halfway through, Mike just stopped talking.
Well, I I slowed down because I thought I was speaking too quickly for him to understand.
No, I don't think he can hear anybody. I think I think I think Art went deaf. But I I had bought
Can you read this?
no, because it's blurry.
Well, it's also blank.
Oh, okay. A blurry blank sign. Good job. I had bought a used Dodge Diplomat for, I don't know, it couldn't have been much, 200, 300 bucks, something like that. I drove that thing, killed the engine in it because I was a stupid kid and didn't know any better. Sold it to a guy who apparently fixed the engine and sold it to somebody else. I ended up buying that car back, drove it to death, ended up selling it again. Somebody else fixed it. I ended up buying it back. I owned that car 3 times. And you know how I know it was the same car? Because the first time around, I had shoved a $20 bill under the overhead light as emergency money. And I looked up and there was my $20 bill still under that light. And I'm like, I looked over at Patty and said, I think I've bought this car like 3 times now. So we all have had fun experiences with cars. I don't know.
The vehicles that are at the bottom end of the life cycle, the most valuable thing is the tank of gas.
Yeah. I, I had one that had a full tank of gas. And that was the thing that really ticked me off when it stopped working. I was like, I just put a full tank of gas in this thing.
My
And it,
son had an old car that he took up to Case Western when he was going to school up there. And we hoped that someone would seal the car. That would be the best thing that could have happened to us. So we started looking at the scenarios. Well, we better leave it unlocked. Better leave it unlocked with the keys in it. Better leave it unlocked with the keys in it and the car running. And then the ultimate was we would leave it unlocked with the keys in it, running with a full tank of gas.
no, leave
Now,
it.
if you'd left a box of Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies on the seat, you might have had it go away.
Man, we didn't think of that.
Oh, I was going to say, leave it with a note and $20 bill. You can steal the $20, but you've got to take the car.
Anybody who's smart enough to read would not take you up on that deal. It's a real piece of crap car.
I think of all, I have owned a lot of cars, but I think the crappiest, Sandy and I, the ex, got married in 1992, I think. And we were typically broke. And at one point, we bought a 1977 Mustang II Fox body hatchback. Just an awful car, straight six. It had 160,000 miles on it, and I don't think it had ever had any significant work done on it. There was a patch in the hatchback that somebody had put Bondo in that was 2 inches thick in the middle. And they just filled this void in the car up with Bondo. And I found out it was 2 inches thick when the Bondo popped out. It had so much carbon built up in it that you shut it off and it'd sit there. And a trick I had heard of but never had the guts to try on any car that I cared about was hold the RPM up around 2000 or so and pour rice down the carburetor. On that car, sure, let's give it a try. Damned if it didn't work. It bounced around inside the cylinders and knocked a bunch of carbon out. The thing started up and shut down pretty well after that. Um, I never did anything to the car except put oil in it, and a lot. It used a half a quart for every, probably 3 tanks of gas. And it got, I don't know, 18 miles per gallon. Little straight six, 231 cubic inches, I think. We put 45, 50,000 miles on that thing. We bought it for $150. It had cigarette stubs and ashes in the ashtray when we got it. We don't smoke. It still had all that in the ashtray when we sold it for $150 to somebody else that I know for certain drove it another 20,000 miles at least. It was the weird powder blue that Mustangs had at that point. Just a terrible car, but you couldn't really kill it. Straight six is a great engine.
I had I think it was a Corolla that I had bought from somewhere for like $100. And it was a piece of crap. It probably had 400,000 miles on it, and it was old. It was an old Corolla. And it had broken motor mounts that I didn't know could break. I parked it up on a hill one day. I was delivering pizza, and I bought it to deliver pizza because you don't want to deliver pizza in a nice car. You want to deliver pizza in a piece of junk that you don't care if it tears apart or not. And I parked it on a hill, took a pizza, and I could not get the stupid thing back into gear to save my life. I the motor had shifted back against the transmission and absolutely refused to let you pull the lever down to get it to do anything. My boss, he had a big, huge Dodge something or other. He came and he just pushed my car on up the hill until it finally released and let me pull the lever down. And I'm like, okay. Because well, that was all we could do. And I'm sure he broke something and I don't care.
Well, Steve, how did you ever hear about doing internal engine abrasive blasting with rice?
I worked at a few shops that did a lot of things that were kind of sketchy.
I'd never heard of that.
Well, at one point I worked at a shop in Hamilton. Fella brought in a 67, 66 maybe BSA Gold Star that needed gaskets and they just weren't available at a price he was willing to pay. So I'm sitting on the floor in this shop with a Mountain Dew carton and a little 3-ounce ball peen hammer making gaskets for it. That thing never leaked a drop after that. It sealed better than cork gaskets would have. There's a lot of neat stuff you can do. percussive maintenance works.
I'd never heard of using rice for abrasive blasting.
Yeah, it's relatively hard. It bounces around. It's got pointy ends, which is handy. It's not going to hurt anything if it gets stuck there unless it's actually stuck in a valve, and that's not going to stay there long.
Well,
Um,
it would crunch just from the force of the valve spring, I would think.
mm, Pretty hard. But the neatest thing was basmati rice, so it smelled like popcorn. It helped that that car didn't have a functioning catalytic converter.
Catalytic converter, what's that?
A thing that had become a requirement on that car. The air pump had the wrong belt on it because it was like a transition year or something, and it used one size of belt with an air pump and one without. So you just use the one without. And that little pump just sat there and didn't use up any power at all.
I almost bought a used something for dirt cheap. I opened the hood up to look, and the guy had the belt was an actual leather belt. He stretched it around and fastened it. And I'm like, that shouldn't work. And if it's going to work, it shouldn't work long.
He was only concerned that it worked until you got out of there.
Pretty much. So I did not buy that car because I didn't really trust it. I suppose in an emergency pinch, you could fasten together whatever to get you out of the situation, but it ain't gonna last long.
Longer than you think. At one point, we were coming back from the EBN fireworks, and I had the original belt break on a Subaru Loyale that had about 130,000 miles on it. The factory belt lasted 130,000 miles. We're on that long hill going south up 471, and EBN traffic is letting out. Nobody's stopping. And I made a belt out of a piece of rope that I found along the road and actually did a plate on the end to make it one continuous bit. And that lasted quite a while, honestly. Like
Nice.
a month or so.
Nice.
So,
Well, that's about what I would figure a belt would last that wasn't meant for it. But oh, that was an interesting noise. I don't know what that was. Sounded like a small explosion. Small explosion. Um, so I just sent out an email to remind everybody about bringing a multimeter, and I'll put it in the meeting announcement for next week and the following week. But I had to remind myself too, so I don't forget.
Send a mail to yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody got my note to myself, but that way if I do forget,
I
somebody can go,
use
hey,
WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp to send messages myself, links, all kind of stuff.
yeah. Yeah.
I use Android messaging for that. Years ago, somehow on Google, I set up that any message to myself got forwarded to my email. Not my Gmail, but my personal email. I can't find where I did that, and I can't change it. but it's lasted through a couple of phones, so it's definitely something at Google, not something on my phone. And yeah, I have a folder that anything I text to myself shows up there. Excuse me, somebody's here. I'll be back.
Hmm.
I have new AirPods. The other one get wet and die. And now I bought this one is IP7 waterproof. And just a second. Let me share the specification here.
False alarm. There's a dog walking down the street.
Ah,
Okay. They have a discount of 87%.
oh wow.
They used to cost 199, $200. But they say that this is waterproof. And I am using them now in this chat.
Does the
Yes,
noise cancellation work very well?
I don't know. There is no noise to check it, but I'll tell you in the future. I need to check it in another conditions. But when I saw the price, I say, what the heck? I will try it then, because 87% is a lot. And there are 2,257 evaluations, and they say find this whereas offer good sound quality with effective noise cancellation. So the reviews are okay, and they are really cheap. So I'm
Yeah,
trying them.
that's a good deal.
Let's see.
They've got to be better than my $5 earbuds.
Okay, go back to Steve. He was talking something. Go, Steve, continue with your.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
I mean, neither, but invent something. Think.
It is going on like 3 minutes till. Um, my mom should be outside to bring me her car because Patty works tomorrow. So, I think, yeah, I think that's I know what I'm saying. We're getting pretty close, so I think it's time to wrap it up. And we are in person next week, so hopefully we'll see everybody next week. Maybe we'll play robots or something. So
Yeah.
I'll I'll,
Also, bye.
I'll see everybody next
Everyone.
week.
See
Bye.
you.
So long.